Welcome to the Des Moines Valley Railroad layout update for 2020. Yes, that's right. A whole year has gone by since my last layout update. I'm still here, still going strong, still working on the layout, doing improvements here and there, mostly in scenery, doing scenery and stuff, and working on just different techniques. But yeah, still operating, working on operations, and it's been fun with JMRA operations, kind of tweaking things a bit, and still enjoying the hobby as much as ever. I haven't gotten a lot of new equipment or anything, but just getting down here when I get a chance and working on the layout and going from there. Also with my other hobby, I'm working on that as well, my traffic signal hobby. Working on refurbishing a couple of traffic signals and enjoying that hobby when I get chances to. Been working on my third hobby, which used to be my occupation years ago, working on lighting design and working on updating some lighting for our church and getting that going as well. So between those three hobbies, as well as working full time and getting that going and all that, just been kind of busy, like most people report on these YouTube video status updates, say busy with life. But anyway, I don't have a lot to show you today. We could do maybe an operation, follow a train around the layout, but that's really all I've got to say today. Just want to let you know I'm still out here. Hoping everybody had a Merry Christmas, and looking forward to a great new year here coming up, and hope 2020 is good for you guys as well, and just look forward to hopefully posting more updates as I can. Won't make any promises, but it may not be like every other month or so, but we'll do what we can to keep things moving forward. So anyway, hope you guys have a new year, happy new year, and we will talk soon. So the first part for operation of the Des Moines Valley Railroad is to fill our staging yard. This is our staging yard. The first tracks here, the first 4 tracks here represents Des Moines, with a middle track that I usually stage the locomotives on, and then 4 more tracks, which represents Ottumwa, the other end of the line. The 2 tracks here represent staging for Newton, which is via a branch line, the Iowa Interstate branch line that leaves Monroe and goes to Newton. The other 2 staging tracks that are the very far on the other end represents Oskaloosa, and so those are off-site industries. When the trains go to take the Oskaloosa branch, they basically run along the first part of the branch that's scenic, and then it goes into the staging yard, which is there. Same thing with the Newton branch here too. So these 2 branches don't get cars put them on them until the schedule calls for a train that's going to either of those places. However, both Des Moines and Ottumwa will get filled up now. I have this list here that basically will stock the cars from the drawers. I have drawers underneath the layout here that all the cars are in, and the computer basically tells me which cars to load onto which tracks for each of the trains that will be used in the schedule. Right now we have 4 trains that will leave out of Des Moines and 3 trains that will leave out of Ottumwa. The 4th track in Ottumwa is empty, so that we can start our sequence from Des Moines, and then it comes into Ottumwa. Then we'll have a train come out of Ottumwa and back and forth until all the staging, after they do the pickups and setouts throughout the layout, they come all back to staging here. Then we run another program to pick the cars up off the layout and then put them back into the drawers. So that's kind of the long and the short of how staging works here. A lot of times you don't see on layout tours the staging so much, because it's more the kind of the secretive part of the layout, because you don't see people handling cars and moving things around, but typically that's what's done in a lot of staging. For larger layouts, sometimes they don't have to touch them at all, because there's plenty of room for the trains to disappear and all that. But to be able to keep things fresh and all that, I like to be able to run from staging through the layout, pickups, setouts, come into staging, and then we can run a program to swap the cars manually, and then another train can head out and so forth. So by having these several tracks, we can run several trains without having to stage each time. So So we can, but we don't have to. We can at least run 7 trains without having to restage. So that's the beginning of everything. So I'm going to go ahead and start following my list here. I'll show you the list up close and start stocking the trains onto the different tracks. Okay, here's our list. If I can get it close so we can read it. I'll show you the first couple of tracks here. So here is the first list of cars that will be going on to staging. This is for the Des Moines side, and it's for track 1 here. Up here it tells you the drawers that the different cars are in. We've got drawer 1, 3, 4, 5, and 3 of them in drawer 6. So we'll pull from these drawers and put them on this track, and then we'll go ahead and double check that. And then I've got it printed upside down for the next track. So I can just flip the paper over and we're ready to go on that. So this is for track 2. And again, the different drawers, pulling the cars out, and we will stock our tracks. So we'll go ahead and stock the first or second, probably the first and second tracks, and come back here and show you how that worked. Okay, so here's our first train that's been staged here from the drawers. Again, haven't checked them off yet, but I can show you here. So we've got a BN hopper we picked out. We've got a BN Fruit Express car, reefer car, another BN hopper, a Rock Island boxcar, a couple of them. What's Neat This Week boxcar, and a Rock Island hopper, covered hopper. So basically I'll check these off as I'm pulling them out of the drawers. For simplicity's sake, I'm just checking them off now. And then, as I said on the tracks, I will check them off again. It's kind of like double checking to make sure everything is there. Now, currently this is the order that everything's in. When I actually have a train that will be leaving here to do pickups and setouts to go travel the layout, I might change the order of the cars just to make it easier for switching. I don't have to. It just makes switching a little more difficult when you've got a facing point switch, or to have the cars on the run and be different ends of the train. But I try to think of that and get the cars blocked ahead of time, so it makes switching a little bit easier for the layout. So that's the only change I'll make to the staging yard when I actually have a train leaving from this track. So that's the first set. So I'm going to go ahead and fill the rest of the tracks with the cars for both towns, both Des Moines and Ottumwa, and we'll be all set for our operating session. Okay, now by following the work orders, I've got 6 tracks full of cars. I misspoke earlier. I thought I did 4 tracks for Des Moines. It's actually 3. Eventually I was thinking of doing 4. And then 3 for Ottumwa, just leaving 1 empty. But I kept it 3 and 3 because if for some reason my sequence would change and I'd want to start a train from Ottumwa, there's an empty track I can put it in Des Moines. So tracks 1, 2, and 3 for both stations are now full of cars and ready for their train assignment. So after I generate the switch list for the next train to go through, then we will check that against the cars, see what loads we have and what empties we have, and where the cars are going, and if we need to switch an order or so, and then go from there. And then the trains are ready to hit the layout. Okay, now that we have our train, let's head out. Our locomotive ready to go. We have it staged on the middle track here, and now it's going to go ahead and go and hook up to its train, which is the far one there on track 3. We'll get a different angle here in a minute. Alright, our first train is going to leave from track 3. We've got our locomotive coming out of servicing, and then we'll couple up to the train in the foreground, which is track 3. Alright, check our schedule again here. We are going to head out and oops, put my pen here. Alright, so we are leaving staging. We've got 6 cars, we've got 5 loads, 1 empty, 1 hazardous, and we are going to now move down the railroad. Our first stop, well, our only stop really, is at Pella Yard. We've got to set out the hazardous tank car to the diesel facility, and then we've got 3 pickups, 2 set-outs at the yard, and then from there we will terminate in Ottumwa. So, all aboard! Okay, so now our train has come into Pella Yard, and according to the schedule, the work order, it says it's got to set out the hazardous, which is on the back, hazardous tank car, to the diesel facility, and we're going to have the local switcher help with that move, just to be careful with everything. And then we're going to swap out, picking up 3 cars, which are all on this track 2, the BN here, and the MP SX here, and then the RREX there. Those are getting the pickups. The set-outs are these 2 here, the ITC and the MP with the aluminum cabinets. So we will go ahead and do that swap. Okay, so we set out the tank car to the diesel facility track. We picked up 3 cars and we set out 2 cars. Train is ready to depart and head into the Ottumwa staging yard. Last step is to check all cars in at Ottumwa. That's a brief summary of how we run the railroad.